Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now our first story comes from Pretend Payment 9905 and says, am I the arsehole here for saying I would not care if my partner cheated on me? Yesterday, we were hanging out with some friends and the topic came to cheating and relationships. When I was asked my opinion, I told him I would not really care if my girlfriend cheated on me. There is not a need to sulk over it. It's just a girlfriend and cheating proves the point that they are not the one. From my point of view, life is too short to get sad about these things. In the end, cheating is not even your fault. It's just cheaters trying to fill the emptiness inside of them, or cover their insecurities through physical or emotional acts with other people. I clearly told them I would not even need to get over it. In one of my previous relationships, I was cheated on and they were caught during the act. I told them to have fun and just left. People were taken aback by my answer and asked if anything would change if it was wife instead of girlfriend. I said no, I would just divorce and we would go our separate ways. There is no need to prolong things and stay in a broken marriage. Some said if I would not try marriage counseling first. I answered no because there is no reason to. Marriage counseling should be done before the act of cheating instead of after it. If the cheating spouse has any problems, they should communicate them with the other partner and try to solve it. If they cannot, they should divorce, and cheating is never an option. Doing marriage counseling after infidelity is like a murderer going to the murder scene to revive the victim, but victim has to do most of the work to get revived. I do not care about closure at all. I do not care about the reason. People, and especially my girlfriend, seem shocked by my answers and ask me if I have any emotions at all. I do have emotions, it's just that I do not see it necessary to spend my emotional energy on something I have no fault on or that hurt me. Life is too short to be bothered by that. My girlfriend told me she does not see me in the same light anymore and thinks I do not value our relationship. She is not talking to me now. Am I the arsehole? So, a couple of people ask OP questions and OP replies giving some relevant information. Rain Girl says not the arsehole. I have a question though. If you caught your girlfriend or wife cheating, would you be hurt? If someone you love leaves your life, there is usually a period of grief. Would you go through, or would you just be carefree and happy the very next day? OP says, I caught them during the act in one of my past relationships. I told them to have fun and just left the relationship. I moved on with my life as usual after that. There is no reason to get sad for cheating. It just means they're not the one for you. However, for one of my past relationships, I had to part ways with my ex-partner due to different life choices. I felt sad because the relationship ended and grieved. What matters for me is how it ended. If it's due to cheating or betrayal, I just do not see the need to get sad. Queen Doc says sad feelings are going to be sad until processed, and then said that's the point though. He never said he'd process the emotions and move on. He said he would just be like Kay and end it. The girlfriend is upset that he is saying he wouldn't grieve the end of something that, until that point, would have seemed to have been working okay. The lack of grief in the scenario he is presenting is what concerns the girlfriend, because if you don't grieve the loss of something, did you even love it to begin with? OP says I would be like Kay and end it if I were to be cheated on. Let's say we had parted ways due to different choices in life. I would cherish the memories of this relationship and grieve it for ending. However, if there is cheating involved, I just move on. There is no need to get sad for that. But OP responds to someone saying about him not being emotionally invested into his girlfriend and not care about the facts of being cheated on. OP says, it is just not the romantic relationships. If my friend betrays me in an unforgivable manner, I take losses and end the relationships too. I can't empathize with people. I get sad when my friends feel down. I get sad when my loved ones get hurt. However, there is no need to get sad over something that you have zero fault. I love someone until they betray me. After that, there is no need to prolong the relationship. Why work on getting back together with a cheater? On a final note, I strictly hold my values. I do not cheat, I do not betray, and I do not intentionally hurt people. So the first commenter on this one says, you're not the arsehole, I get what you were trying to say here. Then quotes OP and says, you're saying that if they're going to cheat, then they aren't the right person for you, and you realize that. Personally, I agree with you. I can't control my partner and I don't want to have to monitor my partner's every move. I can't trust them, then they have no place in my life. If your girlfriend has no intention of cheating, then this is a moot issue. Don't understand why she'd be so upset. Butt Dragon says in reply to that, great name by the way, I think the reason she is upset is that he's implying he wouldn't care at all about the relationship ending. It's one thing to move on after being wronged. It's another to not miss your longtime partner or not be sad that the relationship is over. Lauder says I'm the exact same way. When my boyfriend decided to boink a co-worker and I only found out because of his efforts to hide it, I never even considered it cheating on me. He cheated himself out of a relationship with me. It was surgical, not because I am vindictive, because he became a liar. I would have stayed with him had he told me he developed feelings for her and wanted to explore those feelings, sexually or emotionally, but it was he who wanted us to be 100% committed to monogamy, equals he broke his own heart. Yes, people have called me cold, but I honestly cannot understand why people become destroyed over this stuff. Hurt, sad, disappointed, sure, but how anyone questions their worth when they find out that SO is not honest, faithful and considerate is unfathomable. Tasty Horse Paste says, on one hand, this can be construed as a very mature headspace, the type that people typically do not arrive at until they've experienced some heavy stuff in life. On the other hand, this could be construed as you saying you have a role in your life you want filled, girlfriend, wife, friend, whatever, and the specific person filling that role isn't particularly relevant and can be swapped out easily. Your girlfriend thinks you meant the latter. And for me, I gotta be honest, that's a weird one for me. I'm trying to think from both sides and I keep like getting confused with my own feelings, to be quite honest. Like, I get where he's coming from, you know, if someone cheats on you, then fuck them. They're not worth it in your life. I totally get that, but to have zero feelings about it at all, like he said about that situation, he walked in and caught his girlfriend cheating on him, which is alright then, have fun, walked out and carried on with his life the next day. To have no feelings about that at all, I'm just like, how? Like I said, I get it, they cheated on you, but to not be hurt by that at all is just like, oh. I'm gonna be very interested to know how you feel about this one down in the comments. But OP did update their post and said, so my girlfriend broke up with me on the phone call this morning. She did not speak to me at all before. I tried to explain to her what I said would be applicable only in the case of cheating, and I value our relationship. I read most of the comments on the original post and tried to clarify everything that people pointed out. In the end, it did not work and I was blocked. Funny how I do not feel sad when the other party cheats on me and I can move on, but when it's a reason like that, I feel sad and hurt. I think that proved I feel like that only for cheating. Losing our relationship for something like that feels surreal. It is upsetting. I think it's best if I keep my ideas to myself in the future. Not sure I can do that though, given that I am very straightforward. Bad and good experiences in the past make up current us. This breakup will be one of the bad experiences that make the future me. However, I try to explain myself and mend the relationship. I believe it's best to move on and learn from it. Life goes on. Thank you for all the advice. And a top comment on that one said, they tried to shame you into being upset about being hypothetically cheated on, and then continues saying, I think they probably said something like, if you don't care if I have sex with your girlfriend right now, do you really like her yourself? OP says, I mean, if they do, they're not my girlfriend anymore. After that point, they're free to do what they want. Just wish them to have fun and move on. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now this one is from a throwaway account that's titled, My Girlfriend, 24 female, of 3 months never cuddles with me, 27 male, since she has always been a non-cuddler. And when we recently met on vacation, she slept on the spare bed in the hotel room to avoid sleeping with me. Alright, so here it goes. Sorry for the shit title, by the way. My girlfriend, let's call her Francesca, and I have been dating for an amazing 3 months so far, and she is absolutely amazing and caring and loving to me. She has only ever had one boyfriend before me, and she is my first post-high school girlfriend. It's only been a few months, and my girlfriend sadly always finds a reason not to cuddle, or even lay together for a long period of time when I try to. This really sucks because I've always been a huge cuddler, and I guess I've tried to overlook it when dating her, but it's hard. When I ask her if we can cuddle, it's always, I really don't like cuddles, they make me uncomfortable. When I ask why she feels this way, she always avoids the question. For my birthday, I asked her if she could try to cuddle with me, just once as a birthday gift, and she got really emotional and said it would make her really uncomfortable. So I felt bad and haven't asked her again. Honestly, if I ask her again, it's going to make her sad, and it makes me upset seeing her like that. I talked to my friends about this. She said that she might be scared that I tried to make a move on her, sex, and I mentioned that early on in the relationship, since me and Francesca are both virgins, we decided that we want to wait for the right moment before having sex, which we both agreed should be at least 6 months in. I'm not sure what to do, and hopefully I'm not overreacting too much, but it bugs me not to be able to cuddle with my favorite girl. Sometimes she rejects holding hands too, which also sucks. She will hold my hand for a minute or so and then let go. I've talked about this with her too, and she said it makes her feel bad when I make her feel like she's not good enough because she doesn't cuddle and hold my hand. Since I've typed too much already, I'll keep the remainder of this short. Recently, she's been wanting to visit Hawaii for a long time, so I surprised her with a weekend vacation there. When we got to the hotel, she insisted on sleeping in the spare bed. She wasn't upset with me or anything and just decided she wanted to sleep alone. It hurt, but I shouldn't have expected much anyways considering the lack of cuddles. We've never slept with each other anyway since we live in different houses, so this was the first time I've ever attempted to sleep with her. Again, she's an awesome person who is loving in every way possible except cuddles. I have questioned my BO, but I don't believe it's that considering she likes spending time with me otherwise. I never knew someone would hate cuddles, but she's the one and I'm not sure what to do. Thanks in advance, y'all. Now, I'm guessing there could be many issues behind this, there could be trauma, there could be sensory stuff going on, body image, all sorts of different paths that could be taken here. So I guess the only way for me, because, looking at the future of your relationship, are you going to be able to continue doing this at some point? I feel like for yourself, something needs to change. You're going to miss those cuddles at some point, which is going to lead to resentment. So I can only say from my perspective, as always, I'm not sure if it's the right one, the wrong one. It's just talking to her in a really non-judgmental way, dropping those barriers and just saying that I can see you're uncomfortable with cuddling. Is there a reason why? Would you be open to discussing it with me? If it's something really traumatic, she might not want to go down that path, which I think you need to be a bit patient with, but there wasn't many comments on that original post. So we'll go straight into Opie's update, which says, so I read a lot of the advice and decided that I was going to talk to her about a possible breakup. I know this makes me sound like a shit person, but honestly, I'm just a very touchy guy and express my affection by touching and being touched. Not being able to cuddle or hold hands or sleep next to my girlfriend was not going to work out for me and just felt like a constant tease you'd get from a long distance relationship where you think about holding and cuddling your gal or guy and just don't end up doing it. Honestly, it was not going to work out. I brought my girlfriend to my house after telling her we had to chat. I started by telling her that I'm really sorry and like her very much, but I don't think things will work out with our different cuddling preferences. She started crying and said she didn't want me to be turned off by this, but she actually loves cuddling, but she has a sweating disorder. And when she cuddles, she gets super sweaty, like I'm talking hella sweaty. She said her ex-boyfriend dumped her because of her sweating, and she said that's why she didn't want to cuddle with me. She said the same thing happens when she holds hands and she gets super sweaty. She said she was afraid of cuddling with me would make me leave her like her ex in the past. I felt bad that I've been giving her so much shit about it, and it was like an insecurity she had, and I told her that I don't really care if she sweats on me, it's all good. She laughed and said, no, I actually sweat buckets. And I told her, can you sweat buckets on me? She thought about it and said, okay, but don't break up with me over it if I sweat too much, in a joking voice. She laid beside me and we cuddled, and it felt so fucking good to finally feel that with her. She actually managed to sweat so much that my shirt was pretty wet and the bedsheet was soaked, and I told her that I found it pretty cool. She said that she is so happy that someone appreciates cuddles and doesn't mind the sweating, and I was just so happy we were finally cuddling. I told her I didn't mind getting soaked cuddling and said, at least now we can have kisses in the rain in bed. And she couldn't stop laughing. She asked if we could hold hands in bed to show me how sweaty her hands get, and again, my hands were wet as hell, which I didn't mind. She said if you ever need to wash your hands and there's no sink available, just hold my hands, which was really cute. It's been an amazing day, and I'm really happy things worked out. I told her she felt like things her ex said to her were hurting her and still making her feel insecure. she should really consider maybe seeing a therapist to help her feel more comfortable. She agreed and said that the fact that I like her sweating lifted a burden off her shoulders since she loves cuddles. Hopefully, all goes well. Crystal Shipping says, sweet story. Crystal missed the trick there, but I'm wondering if she's been to the doctor about this disorder. Opie says she has, but it's been said it's not really something that can be cured. She has Drysol, which is apparently this prescription deodorant for excessive sweating, but since she can't really use it on her entire body, she only puts it on her armpits. Blue Toots Magoo says, seconding another user here, I got Botox in my tummy and underarms for my wedding so I wouldn't look like a Care Bear in my dress. It lasted for almost a year and was heaven. Also, it was covered under medical. As soon as I'm no longer pregnant, I'm going back for more. It was a life changer. Opie says, I actually didn't know that. I should really tell her about it, but I don't know, man. I love it when she sweats on me. I'm sure she'd love to know though. Thanks. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. Warning, it doesn't have an update as yet, but it's from Free Ride Am I the Arsehole saying, Am I the Arsehole for not letting my wife hijack a free vacation? One of my 39 male hobbies is entering raffles, sweepstakes, radio contests, etc. I've won tickets to concerts, sporting events, some household items, gift cards, but never a grand prize like a car or vacation. Until last month when I won a free trip for 4 people to Florida for 5 nights. Obviously, I was super excited and told my wife, 38 female, about it right away. After our initial excitement wore off and we both started talking about details, it became apparent with conflicting ideas about this trip. Before I could even make suggestions about what I want this trip to be, my wife brought up how excited her 11-year-old daughter would be and how we would go to Disney, SeaWorld, etc. She then said that we can bring our mum with to help watch her daughter so that we could have some time to ourselves. She was so excited about it and was getting wrapped up in planning things without even hearing what I wanted. I told her that all of that sounds like fun, but I was thinking that we could invite another couple and have it be an adult-only trip instead of bringing my stepdaughter and mother-in-law with. She did not like my idea one bit and told me that she wouldn't feel right taking a free trip like that and leaving her daughter behind. She also said that her mum has never been to Florida and this would be a perfect opportunity for her to go there. We argued back and forth a little bit before deciding to take a break and come back to it before telling anyone about it. Well, that lasted about 24 hours before my wife let it slip to her daughter that I had won a trip. So of course, stepdaughter immediately got excited about it and started looking into all the things she wants to do. I asked my wife why she told her daughter and she said it was an accident, which, come on. It started a fight between us and emotions got a little high. I told her she was wrong to bring her daughter into this after we agreed to wait and that I never agreed to take stepdaughter or mother-in-law on this trip. I told her that I was the one who won the trip and she was acting like this was something specifically for her. She told me I was being selfish and that we should include those closest to us in something like this, especially when neither stepdaughter or mother-in-law have ever been to Florida. She said that bringing another couple and leaving her daughter home would be cruel, especially now she's so excited about it. I told her that her daughter is only excited about it because she decided to blab to her about it instead of waiting like we'd agreed. I told her if she wants to bring her daughter and mother-in-law, then she can also pick someone else to go with because I would rather stay home by myself and go on a vacation where I don't get to be involved in any decisions. I said that if she wants to go on that route, she certainly can, but I'm not paying for any of it. We have separate finances. Now she thinks I'm being a jerk and should be happy about having a free family trip. Edit, the trip is to Fort Myers, not Orlando. Finish again says, info. You talk about your wife and her daughter. Is that not your stepdaughter? Are you not married to your wife? This whole thing reads like you're not really part of your own family, and it's weird. Opie says yes, she is my stepdaughter, and I did refer to her that way in the post. Not sure why so many people are hung up on phrasing and using it to try and infer any deep meanings into our lives other than word choice. My stepdaughter and I get along fine and I love her, but that doesn't mean I want to spend this trip waiting in lines at Disney or Universal. The trip isn't even to Orlando, it's to Fort Myers, so getting to Disney will require a lot more work than my wife thinks it will. Owls and Cardinals says, not the arsehole. While I see both sides of the coin, what it comes down to is that you won the trip. You should get to decide how it's used. I would certainly be bummed if my spouse won a trip and then wanted to take it without me. But that's not what's happening here. And I think your wife's insistence on controlling this and her judgment of you for not having the same vision for the trip are really unfair. You aren't a bad person or a bad stepfather for wanting to take an adult trip. Lots of couples do this. It's not cool of her to act like you're shitty just for having another idea. And I agree with you that it was especially out of line to tell her daughter, accidentally or not, about the trip because she knew that would make it harder on you. Really not cool. One other thing that really stands out to me is about how you initially only referred to your stepdaughter as your wife's daughter, repeated references to her daughter. I wonder if there's a dynamic in play where your wife worries your stepdaughter doesn't feel like she's part of the family, or if the girl worries about losing her mum, etc. It's a stretch based on what I'm seeing, admittedly. Just thought I'd plant the seed that if you think there is anything sticky in your blended family situation that this trip is surfacing, you should talk about that separately. Toxic Childhood says your wife is delusional if she thinks it's okay to bulldoze over your potential plans. If she wants to throw an adult tantrum over not getting her way, let her. Pick some friends to go with instead. If my husband won a trip that wasn't geared specifically towards families and children, my first question would be, who can watch our child when we are gone? Lol. This trip is a perfect opportunity for you and your wife to spend quality time together and make memories. Quality time is hard with kids in the mix. There'd be plenty of opportunities once stepdaughter gets older to take her with. This would definitely be a hill I was willing to die on. Kids and in-laws don't have to be involved in absolutely everything, and your wife told your stepdaughter hoping that you would cave. Fuck that noise. That's extremely manipulative. Not the arsehole. Now, what do you guys make of this situation? There was a lot of talk about, not taking the stepdaughter as well and maybe something going on in that area. But what do you guys make of this? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.